We will start with the magic circle. There are some very good tutorials on YouTube how to do magic circle. So I make the end of the yarn towards me, wrap it around my 2 fingers, and then pull the loop between the two, grab the yarn, hold it with your finger, and then chain 3. This chain 3 will count as our first double crochet. I am going to mark the top of the chain 3 so it's easier for me to find it when I come back. So we need 23 more double crochet. So that's 2, 3, 4, 23 and 24. Bring the circle closer together, and I will slip stitch into the top of chain 3. So grab both those strands and slip stitch. It looks a little bit crowded, and that's true because we have 24 double crochets. Normally for a baby hat this age, 3 to 6 months, it would be starting with 11 or 12 double crochets, but because we're not increasing every round, I have to make sure that we have enough stitches to start with so that my crown can grow and reach the desired width. So each round we're gonna turn our work. Okay, you will chain this 2, 1, 2, and turn your work. So now this is the stitch where we came out of. We're gonna yarn over and go to the stitch next to it, right here. And you will do half double crochet in that space. Now you can see that the yarn is coming out of this stitch here. We're gonna skip the next one and into the next one do half double crochet, yarn over, then go back and work into the skip stitch, put half double crochet, skip this stitch into the next one, half double crochet, and then yarn over and go back and work into that skipped stitch. And one more time, skip this one, half double crochet, go back, finish your crossed half double crochet. Continue this till the end of this row. I have 2 stitches remaining, so half double crochet into the second, and then going back, finishing cross double crochet, and we will slip stitch into this first half double crochet. You will chain 3 and turn my work. So now we need to do 2 double crochets into each stitch around. We do have 24 stitches, and so into this same space right here I'm gonna add 1 more double crochet into the next stitch, 2 double crochets, and going forward 2 double crochets per each stitch around. We should have 48 stitches at the end of this round. So I have my last cluster remaining, so 2 stitches. I'm gonna do 2 double crochet in each, and my total will be 48 stitches. Please double check and make sure that you have 48 stitches. We will slip stitch at the top of chain 3, right here, chain 2, and this round will be straightforward. So turn your work. Now we're coming out of this stitch, we're going to yarn over, go to the next stitch right here, so right here, and do a crossed half double crochet, 1, 2, go back and finish it. 1, 2, pretty cool. I'm on my last 2 stitches, so cross half double crochet, and now you can count your clusters and make sure that you have 24 clusters. We're gonna slip stitch to our first half double crochet. All right, so starting from my stitch marker, 1, 2, 4, 6, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So my count is correct. So if I measure this crown, it is 4 inches, almost 4.5 inches wide. So I am going to add 4 more stitches around. So the first one will be right here. The one across will be our second one. And then approximately spaced at the same number of stitches. So let's see, if you have 48, so I need 24 stitches on each side. So 2, 4, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Just fine. 24, and then 12 for additional 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So into the 13th stitch, or 14, close by. I will put my stitch marker and then approximate the one on this side, and that's going to be my additions. So after this row there will be no more increases. We will chain. Oh, I'm going to change my color too. So I am going to slip stitch with a different color, and I'm going to go with the teal next. If you're changing the yarn, then cut your yarn here, and if you're not, just carry on. Okay, so I'll finish my slip stitch with a different yarn. Chain 3, turn my work. Into that same space, I will put my second double crochet, and now I will do 1 double crochet per each stitch until you get to stitch marker, and then we will do an increase there. Once you get to the stitch marker, remove it, and into that stitch you will put 2 double crochets. So that's what I mean by increase. And now you will continue with 1 stitch per each stitch from the previous row, and then increase here, same here, and then increase there. And I'm on my last stitch, and now I have 52 double crochets. I will slip stitch to the top of chain 3, chain 2, turn my work. So I'm gonna go to the very next stitch, which is this one here. Right there, and do my half double crochets and continue doing half double crochet cross stitches for this entire row, and I will switch my color probably after row 3, and I'll meet you there. So do 3 rows of, so this is second row, and then 1 more row of this yarn, and then we're going to switch it again. So this is my row 3 of teal colored yarn. I am going to slip stitch to the top of chain 3, but I'm also going to change the color into blue. If you watched my tutorial for a baby cardigan that I made of this yarn, here it is. So my colors are now backwards on the hat, as you can see. We have started with yellowish, then this is our teal, now we're going to go into our blue, and then my last color will actually be this orange here. All right, bring everything close together. And now you will chain 2, turn your work, and we're gonna go for this stitch right here, right there. So that's the first stitch you're gonna work into. Okay, then into the second one, continue with your regular crossed half double crochets. I will do 4 rows of blue. I finished my 4 rows of blue, and I'm going to finish this row and then introduce my last color. So instead of finishing slip stitch with blue, I will finish the slip stitch with my last color, which is kind of light orange salmony color. We are going to chain 2 and turn our work, so we are going to work in this stitch here. So yarn over and grab that stitch and finish your half double crochet cross stitch, and I'll continue till the end of the row. Because I'm doing this for a 3 to 6 months old baby, I'm looking for approximately 6 inches depth of my hat from the top to bottom. So from the top of the crown, I'm now at, with this row, just slightly over 5 inches, and I need 6. So I'll probably do 3 more rows, or 2 more rows. Let's do 2 more rows. I'm gonna finish my hat with chaining 2 and doing a row of half double crochets, cross stitches all the way around. And I'll meet you at the end of the row. I finished my round, and so now you have 2 choices. You can chain 1, pull your yarn and cut it, and then weave in the end, or you can do invisible join with me. So I'm gonna unravel my slip stitch, and now I'm gonna pull the yarn up and cut my yarn. Now you'll need your darning needle. I mentioned this a couple of times in my videos. I just love this little gadget. This is a needle threader. I hope you see that good. And it definitely helps with thicker yarn going through your needle eye. So you just grab it like so. Get your yarn through here and then pull through. It's that simple. All right. So the way I do it is each stitch has a little V up top right here. I'm gonna go from This is my right side, yes. So I am going to go through here, like so. Get my yarn through. Adjust the length of your stitch. You want it to be the same length as the rest of the stitches. Now I'm going to grab the back loop of this last stitch and one more loop somewhere in the back. It could be this one or it could be this one. Doesn't matter. Again, adjust the length of your stitch so they look even. So this is the inside of my hat. So I'm going to bring the yarn now from the back to front. Or so from the front to back, sorry. So just anywhere, bring your yarn in. And now you can weave in your end by going several times up and down. Also getting through the yarn and splitting it to ensure that your end does not unravel, like so. I'll do it one more time. And if I can, one more time. I usually do it 3 times and always in different direction. There. So cut your yarn and then do this with the rest of the little tails that you may have. I do because I'm switching color. And so I'm going to do that and then I'll meet you again to do the little flower. And for the center one, you just tighten it as much as you can, thread it through your needle, and the way I hide this tail and make sure that it doesn't unravel is I will be going back and forth into circular motion. So grab a couple 3 stitches, pull the yarn through, turn again, split the yarn. That will keep it better in place. Couple more. To start our flower, I have my 4mm crochet hook, and I'm going to start the center of my flower with orange or salmon yarn. So magic circle, chain 1. We're going to do 10 single crochets into the magic circle. After 10 single crochets, bring these sides together by pulling on that tail. You are going to slip stitch into this very first single crochet, chain 1, and cut your yarn. All right. I am going to bring that yarn in the back of my flower. I'll just go through the stitch or even here. To bring it back. All right, so now grab your contrasting yarn, make sure you have 10 stitches and 10. I'm going to start here in this stitch and chain 2, And into that same space I will do 4 double crochets, chain 2, and slip stitch into that same stitch, slip stitch into the very next, which is kind of stitch which is hiding behind your stitches, so find it and slip stitch into that stitch, and then slip stitch one more time. Oops. Okay, slip stitch into the next stitch. I don't know why I can't do this. It's very straightforward. There. And now slip stitch one more time, chain 2 and 4 double crochets, chain 2, slip stitch into that same space, slip stitch into the very next stitch, and slip stitch one more time. Repeat this till the end of the row. So you're now doing 2 chains, 4 double crochets, 2 chains, and slip stitching into the same space for the petal, and then slip stitching 2 more times. I finished my last 5th petal and I slip stitched into the same space, and then now I'm going to slip stitch one more time, and I'm going to pull my yarn here, leave a little bit of a longer tail, again close the circle, figure out which one is pulling the center together, so it's this one. And so now I'm going to tie this in the back, these 2 orange strands, all right, so my center does not come apart. And now grab your darning needle, and now what you can do is go into the middle of the first petal and get your yarn through there. That way you bring those 2 petals together. One more time through the petal itself, and then back again. And that's the end of our 5-petal flower. So secure this tail in the back of the flower. You can make a knot, and then we can use that yarn to secure the flower to our hat. All right. So we can now tie these 2 orange ones a couple more times to make it more secure even. And now I can cut my yarn. I don't have to weave in the ends because that's going to be hidden away. And now to attach the hat to attach the flower to the hat, I'm going to do it approximately here. I'm going to use these white strands. So one is sort of positioned where I wanted it, but the other one I want right here. So what I'm going to do is again thread my yarn through the needle. All right. So what I mean is the opposite from here. So I want to be here. So that's easy, just through the orange yarn, making sure that you're not going through the entire flower so that it doesn't show in the front of the flower, the yarn that you're going to thread through. And so now my two yarns are kind of opposite to one another. To tie the flower to the hat, use your crochet hook. Position it to where you want it. You can do it more higher up or down, whichever way you prefer. And then when you find the location you wanted the flower in, grab your crochet hook and thread the white yarn through the inside to the inside of the hat. And then the other strand, I'm here, so it should be around here. Pull that string through. Make sure that your hat is where that your flower is where you want it. Mine is. And all I do is I flip my flower in my hat so I can work on the inside of the hat. You don't have to make this too tight, not to affect the shape of the flower. I'm going to do just one little knot here to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. Double check. I like the placement of my flower. So now I'm going to do some double knots. So that won't go anywhere. And what we can do is maybe thread the needle with one of these ends, because I like my flowers to lay flat. So when the baby wears it, it doesn't fold forwards. I'll show you what I mean. So I want to secure the petals a little bit to the hat, at least a couple of them. And to do so, I will just go back to the front of the hat, right here, and grab a stitch there. And then grab another stitch of that flower and go through the same space back to the inside of the hat. And now grab a strand or two and go again to the front of the hat and grab a stitch on the other petal. Grab a different stitch and go back to that same space. And that's that. So leave that one alone. Grab your other end. Go back. And that's that. Okay. So I'm gonna try and bring these two ends closer to one another so I can tie them like so, and tie the knots a couple of times. And there you go. Our little flower is done, and so is our hat. I think it's adorable. I enjoyed making this tutorial with you. I hope you like it, and if you did, leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe. And until our next project together, stay well, everyone.